Hello, everyone. My name is Juan Calvillo, and I'm going to be helping you go over some ways to create and put together a meaningful and impressive newsletter. So let's go. First, let me go over some of the more basic stuff that we need to figure out, right? What does that mean, basic stuff? Um, uh, when it comes to, and by the way, this the content here is not mine at all. I'm a student at Cal State Long Beach, journalist and student at Cal State Long Beach, and the newsroom at Cal State Long Beach has an award-winning newsletter, and that means that our team puts together a pretty impressive set of information for people to look into email-wise. Right, that's how newsletters pop up nowadays. Now, having said that, the person who runs our newsletter is his name is Luis Castilla. He is an amazing person. He came from ELAC here proper and moved to Long Beach. Now um, he's doing award-winning newsletters. Interestingly enough, um, so one of the first things he was very adamant about explaining to me, and thought I should definitely pass on through this workshop, is the idea of um, first kind of getting the content, right? We need content. Now you're learning how to, you guys are putting together content and stuff like that. So that means what does that mean, content, right? It means anything that's informational, anything that's new, anything that you guys are doing. Um, what is the latest project you guys are working on, right? Give details on that. What are some of the side projects you have going on? Is there any new developments within your core team? So let's go into this, right? So one of the things Luis Castilla told me was very important is this from the ground up, right? We're talking about content first because if you have content, then there's no way to really build this newsletter. Um, so, for example, you should pick things that will enhance content throughout your site, right? So, you guys, I assume, and maybe I'm wrong, but I assume you guys probably have some kind of Instagram or some social media. Um, if you guys are going to do this, I would suggest maybe looking at what can enhance the entire either your site if you have a website, what can be used through your social media, and if you don't have a website, you may even look into having or running a site of your own, or applying to get a website. That you could house everything there. So that's more of along the lines of just a business sense, right? If you have a hub website or a hub site, you're able to put everything in one place, and the newsletter would draw people to that. Right. The next thing he said was to be consistent. So that means set a time and a date and a place, not place, but set a time and a date where your newsletter will pop out every week. Right. Lewis also mentioned putting it early in the day so that people see it in their feed, and by that I mean they see it in the emails, and are able to find the things online that you were talking about within the newsletter itself. The purpose of your newsletter is to draw people to either your website, to look at the content you guys are creating, or to get to know your team more on the social media side. So always keep that in mind. That's the point. That's the purpose of this newsletter. Is to let people know what's going on first, right? But also to invite them to come and take a look at the content you have or you're creating on your website or your social media. Your newsletter should look a couple of different ways. But before we get into that, I want to talk a little bit about where you can actually find some templates and where you can actually build your newsletter. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here for a second. Keep in mind that all there's a bunch of different uh, email hosting services and stuff like that that can do that kind of stuff. So here you should see a Mailchimp. This is one of the ones that we work with. This is the one that Lewis mentioned, the Long Beach Current. That's the newspaper at Cal State Long Beach. This is the one that they use. Um, you are able to create this marketing kind of tool. And as you can see, and again, it would be under one of these, right? Obviously, send personalized emails that convert, whatever, whatever. This is kind of one of the things you're going to be looking at. This is how you would do that, and they have templates on how your pardon me, how your newsletter can look. All the information is here, right? So this is the Long Beach Currents newsletter. As you can see, it has a banner at the top. Lewis said it's very important to create a banner or some kind of
um, graphic that will show what your entire team is about, what you guys are doing, what you guys are pushing forward, right? Had all the social media links. Again, I would mention to create something like this as well. Here's our first story. President Connolly bids farewell to the beach. So she's retiring, and the president of Cal State Long Beach. But that's not what you're going to be writing. It's going to be something that is focused on what you guys are doing, right? So maybe your team. I don't know. This is just an example, right? Let's say maybe your team puts together a really cool presentation on semiconductors, right? And you went and you presented at a symposium here at ELAC. That would go on here. That's your big news piece. Now, typically, you would want someone who and again, this would link back to or link to, however you want to say that. It would tell you and it would ask you to go back and see the main website, right? This is just a little piece of information. You can come back up here, you can go to the website or Instagram and look for these stories. The idea is that this is a tool that pushes people to a website or a hub. The last thing I wanted to mention and make sure that was talked about here is the the idea of having kind of a base, right? A base of people who are going to want to join or write up or add or put their email down for this newsletter. So there's a variety of ways of doing that. So you could do something on your website. It's a little link that says join our newsletter. Maybe you can click that on your website. You could put that in your bio for your social media stuff. Or, if you ever do live events, like maybe you go around talking to people and maybe you do a club thing like here at ELAC, like the what is it called? Club Rush? Club Rush. Let's say you're part of a club or maybe you're out there tabling for your team or your group. You can mention, hey, would you like to, join our newsletter? It gives updates on our daily kind of like or on our weekly or daily or monthly kind of status on what we're doing. And that's something you can go with as well. Again, it really is something you have to put some time and effort into. So hopefully this helps. Thank your Professor Fresco, again for coming out and asking me for some help. Um, and if you guys are ever interested in coming in and talking more about it as a group, please, I'm usually here sometime during the week. You just have to talk to the Learning Center and see when I'm here. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Goodbye. Again, Juan Calvillo.